12 o'clock, so we will go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining me in today's strength circuit. As always, if you have a dumbbell or something heavy, feel free to add it for that extra challenge. The way I have class set up today is we will be doing 2 circuits, both with 4 exercises. That first circuit, we will be doing 2 rounds, 2 sets per exercise. That first set being 35 seconds of work, 25 seconds of rest, and that second set being 55 seconds of work and 35 seconds of rest. And then that second round, you're going to do the same time over again. That will be our upper body and our lower body circuit. And then our second circuit will be our core and shoulder burnout, also with 4 exercises, but that one we will only do 1 round with the 2 sets of 35 seconds of work, 25 seconds of rest, and 55 seconds of work, 35 seconds of rest. So besides that, we will go ahead and get started with our warm-up, just bringing our hands up and down, stretching out those shoulders. Getting that full range of motion, trying to bring them back as far as you can. And then go ahead, we're gonna swing them left to right, going wide. Squeezing those shoulder blades back together. Go ahead, step those feet outside of those hips. We're gonna come straight down into that hamstring to deep squat stretch. So we're coming straight down, reaching for our toes, holding it, feeling that stretch in our hamstrings. Go ahead, bend down into that deep squat, keeping those arms inside the knees, pushing them out, opening up your hips, arms overhead. We're standing back up to repeat, reaching for the toes. Go ahead, come down into that deep squat, arms inside, pushing the knees out, hands overhead. We're gonna do it one more time, coming down for our toes. Squatting it down. And then hands overhead, stand on up. Walk your feet in closer. We're going to come down for a squat and then bring the leg back and forward into that hip opener. Come down into the squat and then alternate legs with each squat. So we're coming down, left leg back, left leg forward, really getting that hip rotation in. I'm going to go ahead and do one more time, both sides, bringing it back, bringing it forward. Last time, other leg, we're back, then we're forward. That is our warm-up. We will go ahead and get started. Like I said, we only have 4 exercises for each circuit. Our first circuit, upper body and lower body. We're starting in a staggered position. One leg flat, the other leg behind on the toes. You're going to have that supporting leg slightly bent. You're coming straight down for that Romanian deadlift, feeling that pull on the back of your hamstrings, powering up, and then coming down into a staggered squat, keeping all of that weight on that flat foot. That one on the toe is just there to support your balance. You're going to do it all on one leg for that first round, and then the second round, we will switch sides. Then our second exercise, we will be in a high plank position. Come on down for a push-up, and you're gonna do a row on each side, and then come back down to that push-up. If you have that dumbbell, feel free to do that renegade row. Our third exercise, we have our feet out wide. We're coming down to the side into that side lunge, and we're gliding back and forth, staying nice and low, alternating those side lunges. So one leg is bent with the knee behind the toe, other leg extended. And our fourth and final exercise for the circuit, on our chest, hands by our head. We're doing 3 hyper extensions, lifting those head and shoulders off the ground, and then placing your hands next to your chest, coming up for a hands-off tricep push-up back into those back extensions. We're gonna go ahead, get started. 1 foot flat, 1 on the toe. I suggest starting with that weaker leg. If you have a weight, feel free to have either both in your arms or you can just do one. We're gonna get started. Remember, 35 seconds of work that first time. We're in position. 1 foot flat, the other on its toe to support you. That standing leg should be slightly bent. We're coming down in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and start. You're coming straight down, powering up, keeping all that weight, whichever foot is flat, and then coming down into that squat. Keep that back nice and straight. Hinge at those hips. We got 10 seconds. Go ahead and rest. We're doing the same exercise, same leg. This time it's 55 seconds of work, 35 seconds of rest. In position, keep those shoulder blades squeezed back, back nice and straight. We're going down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straight down, feeling your hamstrings. And then come up and bend that knee down into that squat, keeping all of that weight in the leg with the foot that is flat. "20 seconds left. You got 5 seconds. You can fit one more rep in. Go ahead and rest. We're coming down to the ground for a push-up with a row on each arm. If you have that dumbbell, feel free to use it. Remember, that first set is 35 seconds of work. Second set is 55 seconds. So pace yourself accordingly so you're moving the whole time. We are coming up into that high plank position in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on up. We're coming down into that push-up, rowing on both sides. As you row, you're keeping that elbow tucked by your side. If you need to, you can modify, come down on the knees for that push-up and do the row somewhere in between. You got one leg up, one knee down. Come on down for that push-up, and then you're rowing. Go ahead and rest. Woo. We got one more set of these. Our 55-second set. Make sure as you're coming down in that push-up, those elbows aren't all the way out. They're flared at a 45. We're up in 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Row it on both sides. We got 35 seconds. Keep it moving. I don't want to see that butt in the air. Keep it nice and straight. We got 5 seconds left. One more. Go ahead and rest. We are standing up. Hips outside, or feet outside of those hips. We're gonna come down into those gliding side lunges. So your toes should be pointed forward. Feet outside the hips. We still have 15 seconds, but when it comes, we're gonna come down to that side lunge and we're just gonna glide back and forth, staying low the whole time. In position, we're down. 3, 2, 1. Come down to one side, and then you're just bringing it back and forth, gliding left to right, staying as low as you can. One, go ahead and rest. Come on up. Make sure you grab that water whenever you need to. Stay hydrated. We got our second set of these coming up. Weights up if you have one. In position, feet outside. In 3, 2, 1. We're down. And 55-second set. Keep that back nice and straight. "25 seconds left. You can do it. Stay low. Less than 10. Go ahead and rest. We're coming down to the ground. Chest on the floor. You'll have your hands by your head. We will lift our head and shoulders off the ground for those 3 hyper extensions. And then we're going to bring our hands next to our chest. Come up for that tricep push-up. To make that tricep dominant, make sure those elbows stay right by those sides. We're coming up. In 4, 3, 2, 1. 3 back extensions. Hands by your chest, up for that hands off tricep push up. Seven seconds. Hit one more rep in. Go ahead and rest. We got one final set in this first round, and then we're starting it all over again with that staggered squat and RDL. Chest on the ground, hands by your head. We are up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on up. Make sure as you come down into that tricep push-up, you lower yourself nice and slowly. Keep it nice and controlled. Don't let that back cave as you come down. Keep that elbow tucked into that side. We got 5 seconds. Last one. Go ahead and rest. We're standing up. Round 2. Same 4 exercises. We are starting off with that staggered RDL to squat, 1 foot flat, 1 foot on the toes. We're switching sides, so stand on the opposite leg that you started with. In position. We are coming down in 4, 3, 2, 1. Straight down. Feel the pull in your hamstrings. And then come down into that squat. As you're coming down into that squat, make sure that front leg, that knee, isn't caving in. Push it outwards. Keep the back straight. Shoulder blades pressed back. You got 10 seconds. You can fit at least 1 more in. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and rest. Our final set for this exercise. Give me everything. Keep that weight in that supporting leg. Getting started in 3, 2, 1. We're coming down. Power up. Make sure you keep that neck neutral. So as you're coming down into that RDL, you should be looking down to the ground. Yeah, 23 seconds. Keep it up. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and rest. Come down to the ground. We have hard push-ups coming up. Coming down to that push-up. Remember that elbow shouldn't be flared out. And then we're gonna do 1 row each side. Down on the ground. Coming up. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're up. Come down to that push-up. Lifting that hand up, keeping the elbow by your side as you row, if you need to. In that modified, both knees down or 1 knee down, 1 leg up. You got 5 seconds. 2, 1. Go ahead and rest. Our final set of these push-ups. 15 seconds. Catch your breath. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And then exhale out through that mouth. In position. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're up. Make sure as you come down into that push-up, you're not leading with your forehead. Yeah. 30 seconds left. Power through, 15 seconds. Try and fit 1 more in. We got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and rest. We're standing up for that gliding side lunge. If you have that weight, feel free to use it. Otherwise, your feet should be outside of your hips, toes pointed forward. Remember, you're staying low the entire time, just gliding from left to right. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down to the side, and then you're just switching back and forth. Try to keep it low. Try to keep that butt back. Two, 1. Go ahead and rest. We have one more set of these, 55 seconds. Whew. Then we're down to our last exercise for this circuit. In 4, 3, 2, 1. We're down. Thirty seconds. We only have one more exercise after this. It's just 2 sets, and then we get that nice long 60-second break before we head into the core and shoulder burnout. 2, 1. Go ahead and rest. We're gonna drop it down to the ground. Legs extended, laying on your stomach, hands by your head. We're gonna come up to those 3 back extensions into that tricep push-up. And when you're in that tricep push-up, you're keeping that elbow to your side, and I want you to come down nice and slow, keeping that back straight. Don't let it cave. In 3, 2, 1. We're up. 3 hyperextensions. Hands by your chest, down to the hands off. Tricep push-up. Go ahead and rest. We got one final set of this circuit, 55 seconds, and then we get a nice long 60-second break. Woo. We're down, hands by your head. Coming up in 4, 3, 2, 1. We're up. "20 seconds. We got 7 seconds. Give me one more breath. 2, 1. Go ahead and rest. Nice long 60 seconds while I demo our core and shoulder burnout. It is 4 exercises again. Same timing, except we're only doing 1 round this time. So after those 2 sets, you're never gonna do that exercise again. We're gonna start with a moving plank. So you're up in that high plank position, coming down onto your forearms, and then bringing it back up into that high plank. Second exercise, you're staying in that high plank, and we're doing plank rotations, lifting our arm straight up in the air. Third exercise, we're coming up into a bear hold position, hands and knees, lifting those knees slightly off the ground, and then we're just doing shoulder taps in that bear position. And then our fourth and final exercise, feet together. You can either have them in the air or heels down on the ground, and we are doing an overhead Russian twist. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with that moving plank. You're starting in that high plank, coming down onto the forearms and back up. Make sure you alternate which arm you start with. We're getting started. Remember, only 2 sets and then we're done with that exercise. In 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, bring it down to the forearms. Make sure as you move, you're keeping those hips as still as possible. I don't want them to be swinging around. Keep it nice and still, core engaged. Ten seconds. Go ahead and rest. 55-second set coming up. The last time, we only have 1 round. That's it. Coming up in that high plank. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees up. Bring it down to your forearms. We got 20 seconds left. Keep moving. Four, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and rest. If you have that dumbbell or weight, feel free to use it for the plank rotations. So as you're in that high plank, you'll just pick up that water bottle or whatever heavy you have, if you have something, and alternate those rotations. We got 13 seconds. Get your shoulders ready. Woo. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees up. Bring the arms straight in the air. Make sure you don't over rotate. Two, 1. Go ahead and rest. Whew. We only have 6 minutes of class left. One more set for these, and then only 2 other exercises. That is it. We're coming back up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Less than 20 seconds. Go ahead and rest. We're now going to come up, hands and knees. You're in that quadruped position. Then we're just going to pick the knees up off the ground into that bear and alternate those shoulder taps. Yeah, 12 seconds till we get started with these bear shoulder taps. Bring it on down, hands and knees. We're coming up in 3, 2, 1. Knees up, then pick that hand up, tap it onto the opposite shoulder. Make sure that butt's not in the air. You're trying to keep that knee as close to the ground as you can. Make sure your knees are right underneath your hips and your wrists right underneath your shoulders. Go ahead and rest. Drop the knees down. Just like with that moving plank, as you're tapping those shoulders, don't let those hips sway. Keep them nice and squared. We're coming up 55 second set in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees up. Keep that back nice and straight. 55 seconds. You can do it. Keep the hips down. Less than 20 seconds. Three more seconds. You can do it. Go ahead and rest. We are flipping it over onto our bottoms. Russian twist with that overhead press. So if you have that weight, feel free to hold it. If not, you're just bringing your hands straight overhead. Keep your feet or your heels on the ground, toes pointed up. Or if you want to challenge yourself, you can lift them in the air. Just make sure you do not cross them. Keep them uncrossed. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. Come down to one side, bringing it overhead. We got less than 2 minutes of class left. Remember, keep those feet uncrossed. It will throw your hips off balance if you cross them. Ten seconds. Go ahead and rest. We got one final set. 55 seconds of work, and then we are done. Whew. We're sitting up. Getting ready to come down to the outside of our hip in 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and start. "25 seconds. Go ahead and rest. We are done. Grab some water, towel off. If you need to, we will go ahead and get into some nice light stretching for our cool down. We are going to go ahead. Start on our stomachs. Arms out by your side, legs extended. We're going to bring that left hand in next to our chest and push us off the ground, bringing that left leg behind the right, and you're just laying on your right shoulder. Did a lot of shoulder work at the end, so we're going to focus on that as we stretch. Make sure you focus on your breathing. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back. And then you're taking your left hand out, bringing that right hand in next to your chest, pushing off, laying just on your left shoulder. Three, 2, 1. Go ahead. Roll it on back. We're going to swing our arms overhead. Come up onto our knees. Keeping our hands overhead. Our palms pressed down onto the ground. Forehead on the ground. Pressing your chest into the ground. We are going to stretch out our shoulders. Arms should be completely extended. Hips in the air. 3, 2, 1. I want you to drop your forearms on the ground now and interlock your hands. Bring them up over your head. So just your elbows and forehead are on the ground. We're going to stretch out our triceps and shoulders now. Still keeping our hips in the air. Feel that pull along the bottom of your arm. Three, 2, 1. Drop the hands back down. Unlock your fingers and slide your bottom onto your heels. You're going to swing your arms around back. Place them on your heels, the bottom of your foot. And we're going to lift our hips up while holding onto our heels. You should feel a stretch in the in your upper back If you don't, just lift your hips up a little bit higher. Three, two, one. Drop your hips back down. Or swing your hands overhead and then slide them back toward you. So you come up, hands and knees. We're gonna step our left foot forward, coming into a right hip flexor stretch. So you should lean forward till you feel that stretch in the front of your hips. You're gonna stay in this position, but you're gonna pick up your left hand and bring it straight into the sky, just like with our plank rotations. Shoulders should be stacked on top of each other. Go ahead, bring that hand towards your back, lifting that right arm off the ground. You're now completely horizontal, or your arms are still twisted toward that left. Go ahead, bring that left arm back forward. Place it on your thigh. We're going to take our right arm and reach to the left. Three, two, one. Come back center. Hands back down on the ground. Left foot back. Right foot forward. Leaning forward into that hip flexor. We're going to do the same flow, just the opposite side now. You're leaning forward, feeling that stretch, holding it there. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, pick that right hand up off the ground, bring it up, twisting toward that right side. 3, 2, 1. Bring the right arm back, left arm up, hold that balance. 3, 2, 1. Swing the right arm forward, place it on your right thigh, and then bring that left arm overhead. Three, two, one. Bring it back, center. Hands back down on the ground. Right foot back. Come on up onto your toes into that downward dog position. Both feet flat on the ground, stretching out your calves. 3, 2, 1. Walk the feet, or you walk your hands back into your feet, touching the ground. If you can't touch the ground, it's okay to bend your legs so that you can. You're going to bring your hands behind the back, interlock your fingers, and then raise them on up to stretch out your shoulders one last time. Just leaning forward, getting that deeper hamstring stretch. 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands back down, unlock them, and then go ahead and roll up nice and slowly. 3, 2, 1. We are standing up now. We're going to bring our right arm behind the back. Stretch out your triceps one more time. Holding on that elbow till you feel that stretch, while holding on to your elbow. Go ahead and lean towards that opposite side. So if you're holding that right elbow, lean toward the left. Three, two, one. Bring it back center. We're switching arms. Left arm behind the back, holding onto that elbow, stretching out the triceps. Holding onto that, we're gonna lean toward the right. Three, two, one. Bring it back center. We're gonna take our arms, bring them down to our toes again. Take one big inhale and reach up for the sky. Holding on to that inhale. Go ahead, exhale. Bring the arms back down. We're gonna do that one last time. Inhale up. Holding on to that breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Back down. That is all I have for class today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. As always, I'll stick around. Questions, comments, feedback. Otherwise, have a great day.
Thank you so much.